And we're back once again, only on it's Last Call. Last Call of the Alcohol, only on the lastcallpodcast.com. And joining me here on location, well, it was a bit of a quiet weekend for this man. But he was still working. He was working the phones, talking to sources, getting ready for the World Cup, and he was even talking about a return with an old buddy because, well, we got to break that news and a lot more. I give you once again from heavy.com, from the MMA Oddsbreaker podcast. I give you Marcel Dorff. So, Marcel, let's jump right into the news that everybody in MMA is talking about. That's right, he is back. Scott Coker. We thought he was gone, and after Bellator got bought out and combined to PFL, we thought that was it. But no, he's back, Marcel. Now he has a $60 million war chest, and he's going to debut his new fight promotion in January 2027. Damn it, MMA is not the same without Scott Coker. See, I gotta say this: I'm happy that he's back. Because damn it, we need somebody who can actually, promote MMA.
Yeah, it's good, man. Of course, the thing only with Scott is I'm always like really like hesitant with him because like we have seen like he has built some two great promotions with Bellator and Strikeforce, and then he sold them and he went gone. And now he's back. I hope that this time he can actually go head to head with the UFC would be great, and not sell it to them or to whoever afterwards. I mean, Scott Coker is a pretty popular guy with a lot of fighters. He's the people. I think the fighters call him like a people's people, like a people manager. He's always like super nice to the fighters, and everybody pretty much can go around with him like really good. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man. I mean, he has proven it before with the Strike Force and with Bellator that he can build something, and let's see if he can build another MMA promotion from scratch. I know Bellator wasn't from scratch, but let's see how he does.
Well, you look at so I know Jake Paul's already, throwing out barbs, and I know you were like, oh, we gotta slap that little idiot down here when it's like, oh, but Coker's gonna lose that money, but he's joined by Peter Levin of Griffin Gaming Partners. He's,
Mhm.
Tony Hawk is part of his group. Steve Kaplan, the owner of DC United, Swimming Minami of Visional, and Dean Dakilois of Fortress Investment, Group, and it looks like from what I can tell, and you can maybe help me out with this here, like there's a plan at least. Like they're not going to just start, grabbing celebrity fights. They're actually going to build this, find prospects, develop them. Like, is that the way to go? I know that everybody's been trying to get like, oh, let's get the super fights. Or, oh, let's do this. Like, is this if you're going to? I don't want to say compete with UFC, but if you're going to be in the same atmosphere as them, is this the way to go in terms of building a promotion the right way?
I mean, it's difficult for me to say, we don't know too much yet, but at least he has the fundings of $60 million. Um, it's really difficult to say anything about it right now. It's only really like just announced. I think last Thursday it was announced or Friday. Um, let's see more. How do you say that? Details before we really can go deeper into this thing.
So what do you want to see? Because you're the MMA expert here. That's why I bring you on the show, that and also your salty takes. So what do you want to see, if you want to believe in Coker? Like what things do you want to see him do in terms of like his promotion and showing that okay, this is going to actually succeed?
I mean, try to make the best fights that fight the best fighters fight each other, and don't sell it. That's the main thing. Don't sell it again. It's like I mean, imagine now the UFC without the Strikeforce fighters. You know what I mean? It's like there were like really like fucking UFC legends like the DC, Ronda Rousey actually, Luke Rockhold, Jacare Souza. Who else can you name? So many
Amanda
else.
Nunez came
Um,
from Strikeforce. I mean,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, pretty
No,
much
look
all
at
the women came from Strikeforce, in the beginning. So it's like so many good names came from there. So he can build up something, but at the same time, yeah, let's hope when he builds it up in a couple of years, let's hope he don't sell it again, because that would yeah, I mean, I'm a little bit skeptical, but I know Scott Coker is loved by a lot of fighters, so let's see how he does it this time. But he has shown before that he can do it, and it would be only good for MMA if they have another platform and or another promotion that can compete with the other guys. That's only good.
let's get to the thing that's gotten your goat up probably. That is this PFL weekend. Benson Henderson decided to get back in the cage, and this is bad. This wasn't good. He got knocked out in 20 seconds. Not 20 seconds into the third round or the fourth round. No, unbeaten Patrick Hibarorad squashed Benson Henderson 20 seconds into the first round at PFL Brussels. What was he thinking? This is not good, Marcel. You're the unofficial advisor to Benson Henderson. I know you guys have tea, like morning tea and yoga workouts when you get to the United States, once every year. But God damn it, why did he have to do this? Why did Benson decide, hey, I want to get back into fighting after a couple of years?
Chris, I think I've said it 1,000 times, fights, non-title fights that have like an odds of over minus 300 or something shouldn't be made, in my opinion. This was like, I think Habirora was over a minus 1,000 favorite over a former UFC champion. And a lot of these other fights were as well, man. The other Belgian guy as well against Jared Gooden. I mean, I understand that you want to make fights that the local guy looks good in, but this wasn't good. And I'm just not a big fan of these big favorites. I think you should only be a massive favorite if you're like a fucking champion and you have to defend your belt and you're like that much good, better than the others guys or girls in the division. Then it's okay that you have been a massive favorite. But being a favorite like minus 1,000 or minus 1,500, minus 2,000 in a main event where no title fight is on the line is fucking ridiculous in my opinion. But I said it a million times already. I think you know how I think about it.
This doesn't help PFL. It's really, I mean, when they're trying to get people to take them seriously, and the main event is between a guy who is 25 years old and another guy who's 42 and fought in 2023.
Mhm.
I mean, jeez, 3 years he hadn't competed. Like I can't. I'm trying to defend PFL usually. I try, but this is just like sideshow Vegas. Not even Vegas, like Mississippi casino fights where hey, let's just dust off this guy. If he dies, F it. Well, hey, he'll be a nice little highlight reel. Like,
Yeah, it just sucks like this. I mean, you come to an arena, you want to see a competitive fight, and listen, a lot of people went home happy, of course, because the local guy won. But at the same time, Benson Henderson is past his prime. I always respect Benson. I think he deserves to be in the UFC Hall of Fame, former UFC champion, former WC champion. But it's just this is not those are not good matchmakings. And I think like the matchmakers also should think about not doing this. But you see it all the time, man. It's not just in the PFL. You see it sometimes in the UFC as well, man. I mean, we got like a flyweight fight announced where the guy was 3-0 against a guy who's 0-3 in the UFC. I mean, how does it make sense? And so he's also going to be a massive favorite. So the thing is like, for me, okay, I give them some leeway. If it's like minus 350 favorite, that would be the max to me with a non-title fight. For example, when if Valentina Shevchenko, when she was on her first run, and she gets matched up with Jessica Aya, she's like a minus 1,200 favorite. Yeah, okay. But that's the actual title fight because she's fighting actually the next contender in the division. But this is no title fight. This is just a main event with a very talented guy from Belgium against like a legend from the US, but a legend who's already in his almost out of the cage, I would say. So yeah, not really good matchmaking here.
Like it's also bad because it's now back to back where, weekends where we get one legend or and Gina Carano go out there and get armbarred within like 17 seconds. And then she goes and she hugs Ronda and they celebrate and people are going, bullshit fix, bullshit fix. Now we get this fight where 20 seconds and it's a young hotshot prospect knocking out Benson Henderson. Like it feels like MMA almost sometimes tries to sabotage itself by like going, hey, you know what? How can we get people pissed at our sport? Oh, I know. Let's do this. Oh, hold on. Hold my beer. We can top it better. Like I'm not expecting like the UFC to like drag out Chuck Liddell to fight maybe Yuri Prochka just for, sherries and giggles and just to rub, salt in your face, Marcel. Go, yes, we're gonna have a legend destroyed just so that we can make a couple extra bonus dollars.
Yeah, the thing is, like, this fight would have never been made if it's not in Belgium. You know what I mean? So it's just, well, it's just they wanted Benson to lose pretty much. So listen, for Hobby Rora, it's a massive win. Still, Benson Henderson is a massive name in MMA, so it's a big win for him. But yeah, we could have done without this fight. You know what I mean?
Does Benson stay retired now? I mean, if you're his family, do you sit there and have a long conversation where it's like, you cannot fight anymore? This is fine. You scratched the itch, but this should be like the warning sign. Like, yeah, it's passed you by. You're
I mean,
42 years old. You're an old man. Get used to it.
you can say that, but these fighters are difficult to to say you shouldn't do it. The fighters are like, yeah, but I still can. I'm still there. You know what I mean? And then as a friend, you're like, no, you're actually not. But it's difficult. I think also for the family.
Well, we go from this to I know you have thoughts because the Dutch legend, kickboxing champion Rico Verhoeven took on Oleksandr Usyk for the heavyweight championship boxing, and he was close. He was giving Usyk fits. It was tied. He was leading on one scorecard going into the 11th round, and then he gets rocked a bit. The round is over, and the referee waves it off. TKO victory for Usyk, and I can hear you go, robbery! They screwed Rico! We demand recount. That referee should be taken out back and beaten with a rubber hose. How pissed are you, Marcel? And how pissed is the Netherlands that, holy crap, they screwed Rico?
So I'm not even the biggest Rico fan normally. So I was watching this fight. And I was like, he's doing well, man. I had him 8-2 going into the 11th round. I thought he won 8 of the 10 rounds. And then Usyk was able to catch him, knocked down. So that's 10-8 rounds with a knockdown, right? There was
Yep.
still like 10, 15 seconds to go, and Rico was kind of like slowing it down with his mouth guard and that kind of stuff. But okay, the referee let us go. So then it's like still 5 seconds, and Usyk tried to unload on him. I mean, most of the punches were on the defense of Rico, and Usyk kept punching even after the bell because the referee was fucking late. And then the referee, fucking dirtbag, came in between and stopped the fight. Like, what the hell, dude? Why the hell you stopped that fight? It's like he also stopped it after the bell. Um, and he stopped the fight and he's like, no, can't continue. It's like somebody gave him a call in between the rounds, like, hey, dude, if there's a possibility you can stop the fight, fucking stop the fight, because we cannot go to the scorecards and risk that Rico wins here. Although the scorecards were rigged as fuck as well, because two judges had a 5-5 going into the 11th round. So on the scorecards, Usyk would have won either way, because like this is a 10-8 round, and it would be two. One judge had it 6-4, I think, for Rico. So after 11 rounds, it would have been one judge had it even, and two judges had it for Usyk. So Rico needed to win the 12th round to at least get a draw or even like get a win, but with a knockdown or whatever. So it was already rigged on the scorecards, in my opinion. I mean, there is no way in hell you can give Usyk 5 rounds of the first 10. There's just no way, in my opinion. Um, so A horrible stoppage, man. I mean, Mark Leeson is his name, I think, from the referee.
Yeah,
I
British.
think I think he is now the worst referee and not Chris Toyoni anymore. So Chris Toyoni has to give away his spot as number one worst ref because this is like one of the most blatant cheating ways I've seen in combat sports, you know. And I mean, it's not Usyk's fault. Usyk can't do anything about it, you know. But this referee, what a fucking crook, you know, one idiot. You cannot stop the fight there, man. It's just super unfair. And that people are now saying like, yeah, but Usyk would have knocked him out in the 12th round. Yeah, then let him knock him out in the 12th round. You know, I would have been much more satisfied with that if that happened. If he knocked him out in the 12th round, and I know for sure if he knocks him out in the 12th round, Rico would have been also like, okay, cool. You know, I did well in the first 10 rounds. I got called in the 11. I got knocked out in the 12th. It is what it is. You know, it's still a big. He still did amazing. You know. So, but the referee had such a big hand in this fight getting stopped. What a fucking idiot, man! I mean, listen. Like I said, I'm not even the biggest Rico fan, but this stuff gets me mad. It's just unfair, you know. Um, do I think Rico should have won? I don't know because I don't know how the 12th round would have gone. You know, should he be in front on the scorecards? I think almost everybody who were like neutral thought that Rico was leading on the scorecards. You know, only like these random boxing or Usyk fans were like, it was fucking close. What's happening? Fuck you. It wasn't that close. You know, it was to me it was 8-2, maybe 7-3. I think it was 8-2. But I mean, it is what it is, you know. And the thing is, like, you can do a rematch whatever you want. It's never going to be the same as the first time because Usyk now knows how Rico fights. You know, he kind of solved the puzzle, I think. You know, so you don't get a fight like this anymore. You know, the surprising element is out of it. Um, yeah, just overall horrible, man. I feel really like Rico got screwed in this fight really badly.
Now the rumor is that Turkey actually liked this so much he's talking rematch in the Netherlands. So Marcel, I'm
Hmm.
gonna ask: are you gonna make calls now? Are you gonna call Rob Yetton? Call your back channel people to the Monarch, Wilhelm Alexander. Call Geert Willards and go, hey, look, we need to make sure we get this fight in Amsterdam. Hey, we need to make sure that goddamn referee, does not screw the pooch again. We gotta make sure that if Mark Lyson even steps forward in the Netherlands, we jail his ass. Years, like 5 years at least, in the worst dungeon possible, because he screwed Rico.
Rob Yatton is, by the way, also a fucking cook. I want him out of office, but I never voted for him, and I despise the people who voted for him. So that said, listen, man, I would love to see the rematch in the Netherlands, but I mean, I would be surprised if they do that. I know Turkey said that, but I mean, where would you want to do it? Johan Cruyff Arena? Yeah, maybe. Um, I don't see it happening, to be really honest. But I think the rematch is possible, but I don't really see it happen in the Netherlands for some reason, because the Netherlands are a bunch of idiots if it comes to sporting events, in my opinion. You know, they can hold the concerts, you know, but sporting events, something else. But yeah, well, I mean, we'll
Well,
see.
this is why you got to get on your people, Marcel. Yeah, make the back channel calls. Call the Wilhelm Alexander. Call Geert Wills. Hey, look, we need to do this here. If America can do it at the White House, we can do it in friggin' Amsterdam. You open that bag. You get that paper. You call Turkey. I'll be the one to broker a deal. Let's bring Rico's world title home to the Netherlands.
Well, I saw Geert at least posting about Rico, so that's good. But I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea, man. But listen, I'd love to see the rematch in the Netherlands. Obviously, it would be big, you know. But I don't. I wonder if that fight is too big to put in the Netherlands. To be really honest, and listen, I would be all for it, but over here, I was kind of surprised actually how many media from the Netherlands were there. You know, the Telegraaf, the NOS. I think the AD was there. That's also a newspaper. I mean, I was surprised how many newspapers and media was there from the Netherlands. I was like, oh, now you guys are interested in combat sports out of nowhere. So, yeah, I mean, listen, for Rico, I mean, he's like, how do you say that? He did got the win, but he kind of comes out of as a winner out of this fight. Like there is literally nobody in the combat sports world who was not anti-Rico, was like a neutral viewer who didn't give him his props. You know, he did something amazing. He fought Oleksandr Usyk as a 1-0 boxer. You know, and he gave him maybe his best or maybe one of his best fights ever. You know, so. I also thought that Rico had no chance. I'm not going to lie, you know, but at the same time, I'm really happy he showed he definitely had, and he showed a lot of people wrong, and that's good, you know. That's good for him. I'm happy for him that he was able to show the people that they don't know shit like myself. But yeah, good for him. But he should have. He got screwed. Nothing else.
Is he now the most recognizable athlete, and you could argue in the history of the Netherlands? We need to consider like a guy who was already the king of kickboxing, when a multiple world time champion, a guy who is dabbled in movies, a guy who has his own YouTube channel. Now all of a sudden, as you said, 1-0 takes on arguably one of the top heavyweights of all time, a man who's undefeated, never been knocked down, even in the Olympics. And to most people, he gave him his toughest fight. Could this launch Rico to like even bigger things than just boxing? Like more movies, more, business deals. Is Rico now like the hottest thing in the Netherlands?
Yeah, I think that's possible. Definitely, you know. I mean, this is. I know he lost, but still massive. It's massive what he showed, you know. So yeah, amazing for him, you know. But yeah, still, I mean, it's still kind of bitter, you know what I mean? So the way it went.
Speaking of disappointments, Tai Tuivasa. We talked about him last couple of weeks on the show. We're like, all right, this might be the end of Tai Tuivasa, but hey, he had a good run, but no. What happens instead? He signed a 6-fight extension. I could hear you go like, what the F? Really? What the F? I mean, even you, I could hear all the way from the Netherlands cursing, going, how do you resign this guy? Everybody else you've cut, but he gets a contract extension? What does he have? Naked pictures of Dana with sheep? Your reaction to the news that Tai Tuivasa has a contract extension, despite the fact he's lost like his last 5 fights.
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous, you know. But I mean, do you expect anything else from the UFC? You know?
Yes, I do. I
No,
thought
I
they go,
don't.
okay, they moved on from Tony Ferguson after 5 straight losses. This is just like, what? Huh? What am I missing? Does he
I
have a
mean,
picture of like Dana murdering somebody and burying the body, like in a giant stadium? Like, wow. You know more than I do, Marcel. How is this possible?
yeah, I have no idea, man. I really have no idea what you want me to say. You know, the UFC does whatever they want, and yeah,
I mean,
they don't care.
I was thinking about this here. This is not hyperbole. If we put you versus Tai Tuivasa, you might be able to beat Tai Tuivasa.
Yeah, I don't know what to say.
You're speechless. That's how much. It's like, holy crap. Even usually have like a lot of quips or one-liners, and even you're like, yeah. This is like a historic moment. You are just speechless. You have no words now.
Yeah, what you want me to say? You
I
know
don't
what you
know.
want
There
me to
must
say?
be something.
No, nothing. I have nothing to say, dude, on this. This is just it's ridiculous, you know. But the UFC doesn't care. They don't care, you know.
Well, let's talk about caring. UFC now cares about one man, a guy that Marcel Dorff can't stand. Khalil Roundtree will be taking on Magomedov Ankalaev in Abu Dhabi, and all of a sudden, every fan's worst nightmare could come true. Ankalaev could have a world title again. You must be happy because you want this. You want Ankalaev to be champion again. The rest of the world's like, no, please, God, no. So, all right, so let's ask a question here. Do you like this matchup for your selfish reasons, or is there a good chance that, Khalil Roundtree could knock out Magomed Ankalaev?
There's always a possibility that Khalil Armstrong can knock out Ankalaev, but obviously I think Ankalaev beats him. He's better everywhere, in my opinion. So Um, yeah, I think Ankalaev beats him. I'll be surprised if Khalil wins. Khalil has a puncher's chance pretty much against Ankalaev, but that's it. Ankalaev is a way better all-around fighter than Khalil is. Khalil is a pure striker. Um, the matchup kind of makes sense. I feel like since the UFC will not give Ankalaev a title shot because they're a bunch of pussies. So it kind of makes sense. And Dana loves Khalil for some reason. So yeah, make it happen. I have no problem with it. It's probably a good main event. And a good way for Ankalaev to get another win. So yeah.
So most of us aren't fans of Ankalaev. Why are you a fan of him? Because I get the whole reason why you don't like Kill Around You. That incident with you, him, that sexy Dutch OnlyFans model where I guess he stole her away from you. I know you can't get into it because there's like NDA signed, but Ankalaev is boring. That guy is just like watching paint dry. Why is it that he's a favorite of yours, Marcel?
He's always been, man. Already when he was in Ahmad Fighting Championship, before he signed with the UFC, he was really fun to watch there. And when he came to the UFC, he fought Paul Craig in his debut, and he looked amazing in that fight. And then he got triangled in the last 2 seconds. I remember. I was so surprised by that. And it actually costed him like 2 years of his career because the UFC didn't give him a step up in competition. Then he fights fucking Kutelaba. He stops him, but Kutelaba was acting like a retard, and the referee thought he was out. He wasn't. So then he gets a rematch. It takes already a long time before he gets another opponent up in the weight class. And then he finally comes around and he's able to win fights. But then he fights Thiago Santos in the main event, and he got staggered and almost finished in that fight. And that's the moment when he fought a little bit more secure, not as crazy as he fought before. And then when a lot of people were going to say like he's boring, this and that. I mean, okay, if you think he's boring, that's okay. I don't mind. But I always like the guy. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's an all-round fighter. And I have also seen fights where I really enjoyed watching him. I always thought that he was going to be a UFC champion. So he's always been a favorite of mine, man. So it's not even like because everybody hates him, I love him or anything. It's not like that. But I always liked him, even when before he was in the UFC. I was high on him. I was like, he's going to be a champion in the UFC, which he became. Um, but yeah, that's basically why. I'm with Roundtree, why I'm not a big Roundtree fan. I feel like Roundtree is okay, but I feel like he's a little bit overhyped. And he got like he at a certain moment he was asking for a main event, and I was like, why? Because you beat Carl Robertson, and then he got a main event, and then the UFC was pushing him to a title fight with Pereira, which he lost. He gave him a good fight. Let's say that he gave him a good fight, but he lost. And he was number 8, and he didn't move up obviously because he lost. And that Dana is gonna cry on Instagram that the rankers didn't move him up. Like, dude, he lost. You gave him a title fight he didn't earn. And he lost. He still showed a good title fight, but you gave him a title fight he didn't earn. So people are not going to move him up in the rankings. And then 1 week later, he's number 6 because along with these rankers, there are a bunch of pussies in those ranking panelists. Who are listening to Dana and don't have their own opinion and then put Roundtree up. Listen, in my opinion, you should, as a ranker, should have your own rankings, whatever anybody else is. If you're going to change your rankings because Dana is having a rant on Instagram, you're a fucking pussy and you should get out of the rankings. That's my opinion.
Aha. See, this is why you don't get invited to the UFC writers' dinners. You just like it just all it takes is just one little poke of the bear, and you just start cursing them out, calling them pussies. That's why I love you. But again, Mr. Marcel, when you say, "How come I can't get into these, swinging, hot swinging parties?" This is why, because you keep pissing off the writers.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to the meat and potatoes now, which is this weekend's fights. Oh my God. UFC Macau, people, that's right. And it's Song Yadong versus Davison Figueiredo. And neither me or Marcel are happy because this is going to be 4 a.m. Eastern time, which means for him 10 a.m. And God damn it, he doesn't like to have his fights before around breakfast time. My ass will be asleep because it's in Macau. And why the hell is this fight in Macau, Marcel? Why the hell?
I mean, brother, I don't know. Eh, it's it's whatever, you know.
Will
I
Dana
mean,
be there? I'm guessing yes, because it's a casino and he loves to, let's say, just play the slots. But God damn it, Macau. 4 a.m. in the morning, my time. 1 a.m.
yeah,
if you're in the West Coast. It's like, God damn it. Some of us need to sleep.
yeah, true. But yeah, I mean, they also it's just, they also gotta have like how do you say that moments, right? To get UFC fights in Macau. I feel like so it is what it is, you know.
Well, let's break it down. The main card, Yadong Song is going to be taking on Davison Figueiredo in the main event. Can Song win this fight? Will he win this fight, or will he sort of find a way to sort of, his inactivity at inopportune times for Figueiredo to steal this?
I think to be really honest, I think Song easily wins the fight. That's what I think. You know, I think like this is a fight made for Song to look good in. To be really honest, for Figueiredo, I mean, I was talking with Adam about this fight. It's like I'm kind of done with Figueiredo in main events, man. You know, I mean, he has been a great fighter. He has been a former champion twice, actually. But I don't feel like we have to see him in the main event all the time. It's pretty much made for Song to look good. I feel like, you know, Song has to bounce back of that close fight loss to Sean O'Malley. And this perfect way, I think.
Can he do that though? I mean, because again, it's you want Song to do well, but there's times where it's just like he takes his foot off the gas, like the wrong place, wrong time, and guys will be able to steal the round. Can he consistently fight and put the pressure on for 25 minutes, or is this going to be one of those where Figueiredo maybe steals it, but like three rounds to two, and we're just looking going, God damn it, Song did it again.
I think he can, you know. I think he finishes Figueiredo late, even, you know. So the thing is, like earlier, I wasn't really convinced in Song, but Song has shown me in a lot of his performances that he's super legit and he's like a top fighter, you know. So yeah, I think to be really honest, it's a perfect way for him to show to his own crowd that he is a top fighter. You know, I think he beats Figueiredo. Figueiredo was great, but his most great fights were at flyweight. Let's be honest, you know.
Co-main event. You're gonna try one more time to get this momentum for the Mountain Tiger back on track. It is the Mountain Tiger himself, Miang Zhang, taking on Alonzo Menafield, the co-main event. That's right. Zhang got knocked out against Johnny Walker. So what does the UFC do? We're gonna reward you with a co-main event fight against Menafield. This makes zero sense. Um, I guess they're hoping that that Menafield's loss to Volkan Ozdemir is proof that I don't know if Menafield is on the downside. This just feels like a bad matchup because Menafield beat Johnny Walker and Walker ran through the mountain line as if he was a hot knife through butter.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is for Song has to win. That's pretty much how it is. Song has to win here in front of his home crowd. But Manifield has crowd checked people before, you know, like Omar C. Um, Julius Walker, not really. I thought that was a close fight, you know. So it's like, and Song kind of lost all the momentum with his loss to Johnny Walker last time, you know. So he needs to win here. Can he do it? Definitely think he can. I would pick him, you know. But man, Manfield always has that equalizer who can knock him out. So it's an interesting fight, also, you know.
We got a heavyweight fight, which even you will appreciate because it's neither guy is a chubba chub. Sergey Pavlovich takes on Taliesin Teixeira in a fight which Sergey, I think, really needs to have like that big knockout win. He it's now back-to-back decision victories, and ever since the Aspinall loss, it's been like, okay, where's that killer who was just mowing people down like he was cutting the grass? Whether it was knocking out Gold, knocking out Green, Derek Lewis, Tai Tuivasa. You hope that that this is that the last two losses against Aspinall, Volkov are behind him. Can he get the knockout against Taliesin Teixeira? Is this one of those fights where it's another 3-round decision and UFC is like, where is that killer? Did he disappear?
I mean, bro, if Pavlovich can't win against Teixeira, I would be so surprised. I never understood this matchup in the first place, man. I think Pavlovich is a level above, man, for real. I was really surprised when I saw this booking. Um, no, man, Pavlovich all the way. I'm really surprised that Pavlovich doesn't win here, for real.
Oh, I
I
won't be
think he knocks
surprised.
him out
Yeah,
early. You think he
but I
knocks
mean,
him out early?
yeah, we hope, but he hasn't. I mean, the last two wins against Cortez and Rosenstrike, he hasn't done that. So, is there something broken with him, or does he just finally unlock it with Taliesin Teixeira?
I think like there were those were like a little bit more difficult opponents, man. Teixeira, I don't rate Teixeira high. You saw him in the Tuivasa fight; he barely got by, so I don't really rate him that high. So yeah, man. I mean, I just don't understand the matchmaking. Listen, maybe next week when we're talking, Pavlovich has lost. I don't think that happens, but who knows? But no, it's just not good. I don't like the matchmaking. I don't think it makes sense. But hey, let's see what happens.
Kai Asakura, they're hoping this is sort of a layup. It's Kai Asakura versus the babyface killer Cameron Smotherman. I mean, on paper, this should be an Asakura win. He is just levels above Smotherman. Why is it that I'm just, I still see Smotherman beating the smaller Asakura because Kai just doesn't look like the killer that we thought he was going to be, coming over from Ryzen.
Yeah, agreed, man. He didn't, but I think this is a fight he should be able to win. The thing is, like in his last fight against Elliott, you should think he should also been able to win, which he wasn't. So, um, yeah, it's difficult again. I would pick Asakura. I'm being honest here. I have no idea why I wouldn't, but yeah, you never know, man. You never know.
Well, one of Marcel Dorff's favorites is on the card. Alex Perez takes on Sudayern at another flyweight scrap. You must be happy because this looks like almost UFC going to Alex going, all right, hey, we're going to give you a bit of a little mini cupcake fight. You should beat this guy, and hey, keep this up. You might get a top five eliminator.
Yeah, man. I like Alex Perez a lot. You know that. I think he's a great fighter. The thing is, like, he has been inconsistent in the UFC. But yeah, I mean, what to say about him? I think he's a really complete fighter. Um, I think he just wins. I think he's a more complete fighter than Sumudaerji is. I think Sumudaerji is pretty decent on the feet. Ground game is okay, but Alex Perez has the championship experience, and he's just a super tough veteran, pretty much. I think he wins. I also think he stops him with strikes early in the fight, to be honest. So yeah, and I don't say that because I like Alex Perez, by the way. Don't get me wrong. I don't pick him because I consider him a friend of mine. But I pick him because I really think he's going to win.
Jake Matthews versus Carlston Harris. This is probably the most, I'd say, evenly matched fight on the main card. Look, it's two guys who really need a win, in theory, because both of them are coming off some tough losses. Harris coming off of back-to-back losses to Chaos Williams and Santanigo Ponzinibbio. Matthews is a guy who, when he first came in, you're thinking, okay, this is going to be like, he might be, there might be something here, and it's always he gets to either the Sean Brady's or the Michael Moraleses or Neil Magny's, and it's like, nope, no, it doesn't happen here. So who wins this fight, and whoever loses, are they gone from the UFC?
I think Jake Matthews is going to win the fight. You know, he's been in preparation for a long time. Carlson Harris took the fight on short notice, and that's definitely a possibility that Carlson Harris gets cut if he loses this one. You know, there's definitely a possibility. Um, but yeah, you never know. You know, I mean, it's like, what does the UFC want with these guys? That's mostly the thing. You know. But yeah, that's definitely a possibility. He gets cut. I hope not for him. But Jake Matthews should be able to win the fight, in my opinion, as well. This one, you know, Jake Matthews pretty all round, pretty decent fighter. Um, yeah, I think he should be able to win, but you never know, right? You never know.
The undercard is a lot of prospects, a lot of guys sometimes making their debuts. Let's start with in middleweight action. We got Luis Felipe Diaz versus Yi Sok Lee, Brazilian
Hmm.
versus Korean. How tough is to pick fights where both guys are making their debut, and it's like, okay, who's gonna actually have less, butterfly jitters?
That's I mean, the thing is, like, you saw the Brazilian guy did pretty well in the Contender Series. The Korean guy's a finisher. He's a fun fighter. I've seen regional fights of him, so I'm really intrigued how he's going to do. But yeah, I mean, this is a difficult fight to pick because we're not really familiar with both guys. We haven't seen them both in the octagon yet. So yeah, that's a tough fight to pick, to be really honest, man. But I'm intrigued by it. Should be a good fight. So yeah, let's see what happens.
Jose Enrique takes on Meng Ding. This guy has now had, hopefully it happens because this, if you talk about a guy that's had been snake bit, supposed to make his debut in February twice. Both fights against Eric Nolan and Nikolay Veterenikov got canceled. Supposed to fight Charles Radke on April 4th. That fight got canceled. Hopefully the fourth time's a charm and the Ming Ding fight goes through. So as of now, it's supposed to. I'm going Henrique, but could Ding steal this? Or is this one of those, Chinese fighters that are trying to get on the card and you realize, yeah, he's not UFC, material.
To be honest, I think Ding is pretty good, man. You know, so yeah, I think he can win. Definitely in home, he has the home advantage in this one, and yeah, I think he can win, dude. I picked him to win, so yeah, I mean, interesting fight for sure. But it's I'm picking him. I think he has knockout power. He has looked good in his last fight. He actually won the title at A1 Combat I want to say with Ariel Helwani with Uriah Faber. So yeah, let's see how he does, man. I'm kind of intrigued with the guy.
Well, we got an all-time nickname taking on Cody Hadd. It is the Mongolian murderer, Arakling. Yes, I can't pronounce his real name. So the Mongolian murderer takes on Cody Haddon, who's fresh off making his UFC debut with a big win. I'm going Haddon with the because he looks like the more of the say fresher fighter, but this is intriguing. You got to the Mongolian murderer is 4-4 in the UFC versus a guy who's 1-0 and call me crazy. This might be like a very good evenly matched.
Yeah, I think it's a fun one, but I have a clear favorite in this match as well. To be really honest, you know, we saw. Listen, Arochi Lang isn't a bad fighter at all. You know, I think he showed in the UFC that he's can go along with other fighters. But Cody Haddon is a special fighter in my opinion. He's really good. You know, I've been really impressed what I've seen so far from his. I also picked him to win against Malcolm Wellmaker before he was pulled out, and Ethan Ewan was able to fight Malcolm Wellmaker and beat it. Well, Malcolm, you know. So I'm kind of high on Cody Haddon, you know. So like I said, I have a clear favorite in this one. I'm taking Cody Haddon any day.
I'd say a very fall from grace. Ray Suroya takes on Garul in a men's bantamweight scrap out. Last time we saw Ray, he lost a decision to now UFC champion Joshua Van. He's now on the prelims of a UFC Macau card. This feels like them trying to get him back into the winning ways. Does Garul have a chance, or should, Ray just take care of business in this fight?
I mean, Gourlay should definitely has a chance, but I mean, I think the obvious favorite in this fight is Ray Surya, So I'd be listen. There's definitely a chance he wins. Don't get me wrong. I think he's pretty good, but overall, Ray Surya should be able to win here.
The Panda, Zhang Jianyan takes on Angela Hill in a women's strawweight bout. Usually, I look at, the Panda, she's 19-2, but she's 38 years old, and she is making her UFC debut. Granted, she came from ONE FC, so she has, some big wins here against like Ayaka Miura, Angela Lee, Bo Meng. How much are we going to find out against her fight against Angela Hill? Because there are levels. It's one thing to just clean up in ONE FC. It's another thing to take on UFC fighters. So who do you like in this fight? And is Angela Hill just a bad matchup for the Panda?
No, I think listen. I think Angela Hill is, or I think the Panda is going to win, man. To be really honest, I like Angela Hill. I think she's been around for such a long time, right? But yeah, I mean, it's a close fight. This can go either way pretty much. But the thing is, like, I think Ying Jonan. What's her name? Ying Jonan is such a difficult name. Shang Yingnan, that's it, Shang Yingnan. I think Shang Yingnan is able to mix in some takedowns. That's why I think she's gonna win here. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting fight for sure. But difficult to say, man.
Last two fights we've got is Chinese standout featherweight Kanji Zhu taking on UFC newcomer Rodrigo Vera in a featherweight scrap. I'm going Vera because you look at him and he's just been one of these Canadian, El Gato Loco, the crazy cat has just been a force in the regional scene. Won his LFA, one fight, but this is gonna be, Zoo's the one guy you look and go, hey, he has the UFC experience. He's fighting his home in, nearby here. Does he upset, El Gato Loco?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a really fun fight. The thing is, like the Rodrigo Vera fight, he's the only guy with a win over Juan Diaz, who last weekend beat Malcolm Wellmaker, actually. Kang Jisoo is a really fun fighter as well, coming from Road to UFC. Was supposed to debut in Canada against Marcel Barbosa, but was an injury there. And then he was actually supposed to fight Ramon Tavares on this card, but Tavares pulled also out an injury. So now we got these two against each other. Yeah, it's an interesting fight. Looking forward to it. I think both guys have the quality to get the win here. But if I have to pick here, I'm picking the South American to win the fight. Yeah, I'm picking him. It's a good fight, but it's a difficult one, I think.
And in the opening bout, a fight which shows how little the UFC views the women's strawweight division. Two women who have a combined record of 11 wins and five losses. That's right. We got it's 7-3 Luma Lukbunmi taking on 4-2 Jacqueline Amorim. Why is this fight? I know that people poo-poo women's flyweight here, and I get it. They don't get a lot of knockouts. It's just like usual men's flyweight fights where not a lot of finishes. It's still pretty disrespectful. It's like the first friggin' fight on the card, and there's other people like, yeah, they haven't even made a debut, and they're ahead of these two women.
It's a pretty decent fight, man. The Boonmi is really good at striking. Amorim is the ground game. I like both women a lot. I think they're great. But I feel like the longer the fight goes, the longer it favors Luke Boonmi because Amorim kind of has a questionable gas tank. Um, I think Amorim is able to beat her early on, probably by submission. But if not, I think Luke Boonmi is definitely somebody to look at to put your money on.
All right, so before we got to wrap this up here because well, that's all the fights we have here. So, what are you expecting? Is this a fight card? And Grant, remember, it's at 4 a.m. in the effing morning. So for you, it'll be like 10 a.m. and you'll be like, God damn it, I don't want to have my waffles with my UFC fights. No, 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 no. It's too early for me. For other of us, we'll still be in bed sleeping unless we have like severe insomnia. So how do you rate this card? Is it a good card? Will there be lots of finishes? Or is this one of those cards you're like, no, just go to YouTube and check out, the highlights?
Yeah, I will watch it live. I will wake up for it. I don't mind. I don't mind.
I know, but you're a degenerate UFC, like fan reporter. For most of us here, for like the regular fans who are like, God damn, we need our sleep. Screw UFC. Should they wake up, or it's like, nah, just go back to bed?
They should think about it for themselves. I would be all good with it. I don't know. I don't mind. Um, yeah, I'm good with it. But I would do it. Why not? Why wouldn't you do it?
Marcel, 4 a.m. in the effing morning. If
Yeah.
I try to wake your ass, well, you're a night owl, so you don't sleep unless it's midday. For most of the people, if you ever try to wake somebody up at 4 a.m. in the morning, remember, this is why that Dutch playboy, playmate that you were dating on the side. This is why you guys broke up. Because you probably told her, hey, yeah, honey, we gotta wake up for a 4 a.m. fight. And she's like, go F yourself. It's 3 a.m. I am sleeping.
I mean, you got to do. So you got to have something for it.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, once again, a man who is now doing double duty. He's previewing the World Cup coming soon, and he's also covering UFC, kickboxing, MMA, and much more. I give you a heavy.com writer, and also, once again, from the MMA Oddsbreaker podcast, I give you Marcel Dorff. So, Marcel, once again, where can fans check you out at? Where is your own YouTube podcast channel, the X, Instagram? You probably have a Rumble channel, and where else can fans check out your work over at Heavy?
Um, com slash UFC, or the soccer page, obviously for the World Cup things. Big Marcel 24, Twitter and Instagram. That's basically it. We have the MMA Housebreaker podcast with Adam Martini every week, every Sunday normally. So yeah, that's basically it, man.
And before I let you go, are you catching the Dutch fever? Do you have hopes that they're going to win their little group and go on, or are you already going, no, 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 that coach is going to screw us? I'm ready to start writing a 500-page word letter like, you need to fire him. He sucks. He is ruining this team.
Yeah, he's gonna screw us, I think. I'm not a fan of his way of selecting players. I feel like he has some big bodies in this team, and he gets them in. I want to see the best guys playing. I don't care about his buddies. So yeah, we'll see. Everything less than quarterfinal is failure, in my opinion.
Marcel Dorff, ladies and gentlemen, once again, always on a pleasure to have you on the show. We come back. We got a lot more going on here, only on it's Last Call. Last Call with the alcohol, only on the Last Call Podcast.com.